Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I have the honor of meeting Mrs. Janetta Owens, an African American thinker, a Pan-Africanist and intellectual. She is an inspirational voice, a visionary businesswoman, and a dynamic entrepreneur. Beyond her professional achievement, she's a devoted mother and a grandmother whose wisdom is deeply rooted in lived experience. Her educational journey took her to Tanzania, where she not only studied but also built a thriving business. Over the years, her path has taken her across the globe, from the United States to Japan, Costa Rica, Germany, and now here in Nairobi, Kenya. In each country, she has left her mark as a bridge builder, a mentor, and a living testament to the spirit of resilience and global African identity. Today, we will explore Mrs. Owens' extraordinary journey, her vision for Pan-African unity, and the lessons she has gathered from living and working across the continent. She's also known as Mama Africa Speaks in her blog. So please help me welcome Mrs. Owens.
Hey!
Yes,
my goodness, after that introduction, I don't really know what to say. It sounds so good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 82 years old.
Really?
And I love it here in Africa, but I'm 82.
Yeah.
I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, in the United States. I left there when I was 18 years old.
Really?
And my journey started at 18. I got married, 47 years of marriage, and 2 children and a whole bunch of grandchildren I've been blessed with because of adoption and different children from different parts of the world. But I just love it. Thank you for inviting me to interview with you. I appreciate you. And I just love that introduction. My gosh. I was looking around and said, who is he talking about?
You merited it, man. You merited it. First and foremost, what first draw your attention toward Pan-Africanism?
You know, one thing about it, I think because I was raised in a country, in a part of the country where everybody around me, basically, except for my family members and a few others, were black people.
Really?
Or were white people,
White, yeah.
And I just had a few of us around. And when I went to school, all they did was talk about white people, white people, white people, white people. I never will forget when they first introduced me to Washington Carver and some other, a couple other black people they put in the book, you know what I mean? In the history book, but everything was white. Jesus was white, Mary was white, Joseph was white, God was white, everybody was white. Everybody was white that was good, and I didn't understand that because I was so glad to be what I was. I was so proud of my family. And so, but I wanted to learn about my people, and the lessons I learned and the things I saw, they were a bunch of lies. And they showed me in the jungle and Tarzan flying through and monkeys and carrying things and Ooga Booga and everybody calling him Bwana and everything. And it just was an insult to me. I enjoyed the program because it was entertaining, right? But it didn't uplift me for where I was. And unfortunately, the side of Nebraska, Omaha is a small town in Nebraska. It's like a manufacturing industrial area. And they had cows, and it's a farming area. So on the side of town I lived on was primarily white. And most of the people that were African American, they lived on what you call the north side of town. I lived on the south side of town. And those students that were on the north side of town, because they were taught by black teachers, they had a lot of black history that I didn't get, you see. And so my hunger to know who I was, it just grew. It just really grew.
So how did you first encounter with Africa, particularly Tanzania and then later Nairobi?
Well, do you want me to go back that far?
Just a brief, ma'am.
Okay.
So
really
that
brief.
Africans can understand.
Really brief.
Yes.
Okay. We had some missionaries that came that were in Africa, and they came to the United States, and they brought some African children with them.
Yeah.
And those African children didn't like anything that I had seen on TV.
Oh, right.
You know, they didn't have all those marks on their face.
Yeah.
They were, you know, everything. Well, then my curiosity began to be awakened then. But my real curiosity has always been, but pursuing it is the thing that I'm disappointed with myself, that I allowed things that I heard to determine and things that I saw. But you know, when you hear things that are not true, and when you see things, you have those reflections of what you hear. So a lot of times you'll see the truth, but you can't see the truth because you heard a lie.
Yes.
So it's very, very hard. But my interest in Africa, because I love my people.
Yeah.
I just love my people.
So, having lived in the United States, Japan, Costa Rica, Germany, and now Kenya, how have each of these countries shaped your perspective of Africans in diaspora?
Well, how it has, because my husband was a military man. I'm a military wife.
Oh, right.
25 years.
Yeah.
So my husband, with the different places we've gone, being around Japanese people, being around German people, it was very interesting for me in Germany because I felt appreciated where a lot of African Americans feel insulted.
Yeah.
When they called me Schwarzfrau, and when they would call me Schwarzfrau, and they would follow me, and they would look at me and stare at me and glaze at me, I felt like a movie star. It's amazing. Kids are running down the street to look at you.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It still happens, even up to today.
I love it. I love it. You know, and I was not insulted. But, and you know, I would go places and they would wait on me first because they want to get up and look at me. And when we went to Korea, when we visited Korea, and we went to visit Korea, they wanted to touch my skin,
They
touch
did
my
it to
face,
me a few
and
weeks
touch
ago.
my hair and everything. Things people get insulted about. But I felt very special. I wasn't insulted. And then when we went to Japan, and I didn't know that Japanese men don't see women with long legs and shorts on.
Really?
And oh yeah. And so when you show them long brown legs and shorts, oh, they just I didn't wear shorts in Japan because of that. But you know, you learn things when you go to different countries. You learn things. You learn who you are. You learn the special. Now you can take it on either as a honor or a curse. You can take it on, you know, as a curse. And so they have heard different stories about us as a people, Black people or African people, and they have heard stories because of us, and like we have heard stories about them. I heard a lot of stories about the Japanese people before I went to Japan, and they didn't live up to those stories. And I heard a lot of stories about German people when I went to Germany, and they didn't live up to those stories. So a lot of stories you hear about people from other countries are not true.
It's not. Yes, it's not. Yes, Mom. So what similarity did you notice in Africa or Black communities across these countries? In terms of similarity between African American, Black African, and there are Blacks as well in Costa Rica, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, in Costa Rica, there's Blacks. We have a community of Black people. That are in Costa Rica. They live in an area called Limon. But there's Black people in every place. There's Black people in Bolivia. There's Black people in Peru. And whenever I go to other countries, I always try to find Black people. I saw Black people in Hungary. Can you believe it? In Hungary. Yes. Germany, Hungary. You know, you find Black people all over the world, you know, but even when I saw them, I was shocked. But what difference? I don't see any difference in people because when I was in Germany, I belonged to a Frauen, what do they call it? It was a club for women, married women. And we had the same kind of grievances, mother-in-law grievances and husbands not saying you don't do some grievances. And we had some of the same grievances. And same way with Japan, because I belonged to a women's group in Japan, it was the same way. And then I had a lawyer that was a German lawyer when I was not a lawyer, but a tax accountant that worked for me in Germany. And she had problems with her husband, and we were talking exact same things. It's not difference, it's just a different language.
So in business, Mommy, what inspired you to establish a business in Japan, and what made it successful?
Well, I've always been in business. My life has been a business. I come from a family that I would say 50-50. There's 50% of us that are in some kind of a business, and 50% of us that are working on jobs and professions. But a lot of us, we just have business in our blood. And so I was in business when I was in Germany, and also when always some kind of business. And so my inspiration for business really came the freedom of being able to open a store and hire people and have something that you did that you like to do. See, one thing about business, you can do what you like to do.
Of course.
You know, you don't have to do what you don't. When you take a job, you do a lot of things you don't like to do.
All right, now what advice would you give to young Africans and African Americans?
But let me go back on this about the business part.
All right.
Now here in Africa, when I come to Africa, I'm 80 years old. When I got here, this 4 years ago, I was 78. 78.
80 years.
I'm 82 now, so I've been here 4 years. So I was 78 years old.
Right.
And I have all this experience and knowledge and information in me, and I want to share it. And I came here, and from the time the first taxi cab driver, I was trying to put him into transport business. I mean, I've been talking to people about business since I got here. And I found out the vision and dream, your visions and dream in Africa, because of the conditions, your vision of what you really want and what you can do is so blocked and limited. So being able to try to open that up and talk to young people and open it up to try to be able to give them a vision of what they are, what they can be, and what they should be. And not what they are, but what they or their circumstances right now, but to raise them out of that circumstances so they can see their visions of success, other than pop daddy and all that kind of stuff, bip bop stuff. Well, you see,
trash.
Right.
Okay. So, in Pan-Africanism, and legacy, how do you define Pan-Africanism in today's world, especially for younger generation?
I would say Pan-African is awakening, because we're awakening to Pan-African. And a lot of us, Black Americans and a lot of Africans, have never even heard the word Pan-African. You know, if you're living in a primarily Black community and you have some exposure to Africanness or African teaching, then you've heard of it. But for me, living in Omaha, Nebraska, and then traveling around the world with my husband, I had not heard of Pan-African.
Really?
I began to hear Pan-Africanism much after my husband died, and I had a lot of time to research, had a lot of times to look at things, and I started following PLO Lumumba. And then that what really indoctrinated me, because I found out that we have such a kindredship. Our situations might be different, but the tactics against us are exactly the same.
Yes, it is. All right. So what role do you believe women should play in shaping Africa's and the economic and political future?
I don't think there is a specific role for women. I think we're all helpers of each other. There's some things that you can do that I can't do. There's some things that I can do that you just cannot do. There's some things that you're built with to be able, are capable and ability that you have. And so to drive it off as women and men, I don't think I should overwhelm you, but I think we should stop doing this women stuff and men stuff. This was really not in our culture. Our culture was not a woman does this and a man does that. Our culture was we helped each other. We supported each other. I couldn't go out and capture a lion. I couldn't go out and get wild beasts.
Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of strength.
Yeah.
And then I had to be a mother and nurturing and feed my babies. Well, you know, but we were support. I kept the home while you were out there. Really? And now the difference is now that because of our society, we had to switch roles because now in our society, everybody needs to be out there. Everybody needs to play a part. And then if my husband were to die and I had to play a role, I need to know how to operate. And in fact, I need to know how to talk. We're building together rather than building separately. So the woman's role and the man's role,
interrelated. Yeah,
it's interrelated.
Yes.
We're supportive of each other.
Yeah.
I love being supportive of men. I love men, period.
So if you could design a blueprint for stronger connections between Africans on the continent and those in the diaspora, what would it be?
I would just say this. You know, I have a way of adjusting.
Yeah.
You know, I was married to a military man, I told you, for 25 years. And you can't go to a place, I don't like it here, I don't like this, I don't like that. You can't do that because you'll be miserable. So I've learned that you have to adjust to wherever you are. And wherever you are, what you do is you begin to enjoy the people, the differences in the custom and everything. So you know, you just really, really try to build where you are, to make the best of what you can make out of wherever you are. So I love people. But the thing of it is here, I found out we all suffered from something different. We suffered from the perils of slavery.
Yes.
And you suffered from the perils of colonialism.
Yes.
And so we all have suffered. And our suffering might have been different, but then there's parallels because we were all suffering because of who we are.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know who you are. You know who we are?
Definitely.
Yes. Because we are royalty. We're the only royal people on the planet.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're the only royal people on the planet. And I'm not just saying that because that is a fact. And this is one of the reasons why we have suffered so much. But before, I didn't know about our royalty. But now when you research, you find out about melanin, La Palita. We find out about your melanin and how rich it is and how we can outlast any other peoples in the world. They have not been able to destroy us or kill us off. So it's just amazing. I'm just amazed. People that don't say they don't want to come to Africa, they don't have to, but they're losing out.
Yes. So what is one life lesson you wish every young African descendant person would embrace?
To love yourself. Stop trying to rearrange who you are, because who you are is what you are supposed to be. Stop trying to arrange yourself. Stop wishing that you were somebody else in some other place.
Skin tuning.
Yeah.
Mental, call it colonial mentality.
Yeah. You find out people, this is what I got off track, but this is what I find out. When you come here to Africa, or when you go to America, we have suffered things that affect our character and our attitude. When I came to Africa, they have things that affect their character and their attitude about things and how they do things. So if I come here and think, oh, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, and take an opinion and really not know exactly why they do that, or why they find out why I do what I do. We have to accept each other for one another. And before we draw a conclusion, get to learn each other. And you cannot learn the people here in Africa by just spending time in Tanzania. You cannot just learn by spending time in Kenya. Going from one country to the other one, there's such a great difference between Tanzania and Kenya. You all look quite much the same. but there's a difference. There's a lot of difference.
Geographically, everything.
Yeah, everything.
Cultural. Yeah.
Culture. You have different cultures.
Yes, yes.
You're not the same. And see, I think we as American don't really understand that. We as American Black people, we don't really understand that because we all have basically the same kind of culture.
Hey, this is Jamila, and you're watching Africa Speak.